Hello friends, welcome back to Know 5G NR. Today we'll be discussing about 5G network architecture. Let us go through the content. We'll be discussing about general concepts introduced in 5G core. We will discuss about reference point and service based architecture, and we will have a look at the network functions. So let us start with 5GC general concepts. Here there are four key general concepts which are introduced in 5G core. First one is control plane and user plane separation. We also called it as CUPS. Second one is support of stateless network functions. We'll be discussing about stateful and stateless network functions and how having stateless network functions can be beneficial for a 5G core network. Third one is each NF can interact with other directly. This is also called as reference point based architecture. We'll be discussing in detail in subsequent slides. And the last point is support for both 3GPP and non-3GPP access. 5GC support RAN access for both the network defined in 3GPP and also not defined in 3GPP. Let us start with CUPS. So any network entity which functions as control plane element should not function as an element of user plane. So this is the basic concept of CUPS. So in CUPS, a particular network entity can either function as a user plane element or a control plane element. Let us see an example. In LTE deployment, PGW serves as both control plane functionality and user plane functionality. As a control plane function, its task is to allocate the IP addresses, while as a user plane function, it forwards the packet to data network. So having PGW in LTE network doesn't qualify as a CUPS. Unlike this, in 5GC, network entity for control and user plane will be separated. But how it is useful? Actually, having CUPS reduces the latency. Let us see an example. With introduction of CUPS, control plane can be located centrally in the middle of country, and user plane entities can be kept closer to the application it is supporting. So user plane entities can be spread across the towns. So this approach helps in reducing latency as the core user plane is located closer to the end user. There is no need to backhaul traffic all the way to central hub. So this is how CUPS help in reducing the latency. Now let us discuss about support of stateless network functions. Let us see what are the benefits of having. Let us see benefits of stateless network functions. One of the major benefits is that stateless network functions are resilient. In case of a failure or any outage, services can continue seamlessly. Let us understand this by an example. In the following example, state management function can be done by UDSF, which is also called as unstructured data storage function. And processing is done by AMF, access and mobility management function. Both of these are part of 5GC. We'll be seeing them in subsequent slides. So for example, let us assume that state management function or UDSF is having data of three UEs, UE A, B and C, but processing is done by two AMFs, AMF1 and 2. Both are connected to UDSF. So both the AMF can access data for all the UEs. In case of outage in AMF2, processing of UEC couldn't be stopped because AMF1 have access to UEC context. So AMF1 can retrieve the UE context from UDSF and there will be no outage in the services. So this is how stateless network functions can help us in the outages scenario. Another important benefit of stateless network function is they provide elasticity. In case of scaling out with stateless 10Fs, a new network function instance can be launched and traffic can be immediately directed to it. So it helps in achieving load balancing easily. Let us see an example. So this UDSF or state management function is having context of 3 UEs, and this AMF is processing data for 3 UEs. Let us assume that this particular AMF is getting loaded. So it needs to transfer its load to a new AMF. So if we scale out and add one more AMF, because this AMF is already connected to a UDSF which is having UE context of UEC, so scaling out is easy and load balancing can be easier and faster without any outages in the service. So far we have discussed about CUPs and stateless network functions. Let us discuss about the point each NF can interact with the other directly. Each network function can interact with other network function directly. If you remember LTEPC architecture, we need a DRA or diameter routing agent. This DRA is used to connect the devices together. Like in this example, it is mentioned that SGW, there is no direct connection with HSS. It needs a DRA to connect SGW with HSS. For that matter, MME does not have a direct connectivity with HSS or PCRF, but we need a routing agent in between them. Now let us see how in 5GC point-to-point reference architecture is helping to eliminate the need of intermediate DRA. So these are the 5G network functions. If you see, most of the network elements are connected to each other with the reference points, means there is no need of any intermediate routing agent to route the traffic or route the control signaling from one network function to another. Now let us discuss about support for both 3GPP and non-3GPP access. 5GC supports radio access network, both which are defined by 3GPP and which are not specified by 3GPP. So 3GPP radio access network are GSM, GPRS, WCDMA, HSPA, LT, NR. All these are 3GPP radio access networks. But the networks which are not defined in 3GPP or non-3GPP access specified networks are like WiMAX, WLAN or fixed networks. Non-3GPP networks can again be of two types, trusted and untrusted. So trusted networks are the networks which mobile operator trust and operates the access points. While untrusted networks, mobile operator does not trust the access point the UE is connected to. Encryption of radio link is controlled by operator in the trusted non-3GPP access networks, while the encryption on the radio link is out of the scope of mobile operator in untrusted network. So security or encryption is one of the primary concern in 5GC, but having access to non-3GPP network increases the flexibility in terms of use cases. We can have different use cases if 5GC allows access to non-3GPP networks as well. Let us try to understand the concept of reference point and service-based architecture, as 5GC is defined both as a reference point architecture and a service-based architecture. So what is reference point system architecture? Reference point architecture is based upon a set of network elements which use point-to-point interfaces to interconnect those network elements. Like here, network element 1 to 2 is connected via one interface and network element 2 to 3 is connected via one interface. Signaling and procedures are specified for each point-to-point interface. There are set of procedures defined for each point-to-point procedure in reference point system architecture. The service-based architecture replaces the set of network elements with a set of network functions. That is, each network function is a service provider, and the point-to-point interfaces are replaced by a common bus, which interconnects all the network elements. Services are specified for the network function providing them. Like network function 1 is providing service A, network function 2 is providing service B. So network function 1 service or service A is also accessible to network function 3, which was not the case in reference point architecture. So in this way, service-based system architecture is helpful to provide services within the network functions. Now let us see the 3GPP specification for reference point based architecture of 5G core. Here in this figure we can see that it shows the interaction exists between the network function services in the network functions described by point-to-point reference points between any two network functions. Services or procedures are defined for each network function pair. In simple words, each network function is connected to the other network function with a specific interface, and there are certain set of services and procedures defined for each network function pair. There is, in this architecture, we cannot see any common bus. For example, AMF is connected to NSSF, AUSF, UDM, SMF, and at the same time with UE and RAN. And it is connected via different interfaces which are having a specific set of services and procedures. Now let us see service-based architecture. 3GPP has also specified service-based architecture for 5G core. Network functions with a control plane enables other authorized network functions to access their services. The point-to-point interfaces are replaced by a common bus which interconnects all NFs. Services are specified by NFs which are providing them rather than defining service or procedure between each pair of NFs. Here we can see a common bus is present and each network function is providing a service which is commonly available for all other network functions. There is very few reference point connection in service-based architecture. So we can say service-based architecture is kind of a control plane architecture defined for 5G core, and reference point-to-point architecture is defined for user plane. Let us discuss in brief about few of the network function elements which are present in 5G core. We'll be discussing in detail about each network function element in the subsequent videos. But this is just to give you a brief introduction. First is AMF, which is access and mobility management function, and its job is registration management, connection management, reachability and mobility management. Second one is session management function. Session management function tasks are PDU session management, IP address allocation, GTPU tunnel management, downlink notification management. Then user plane function. Its job is routing and forwarding user plane packets between the base station and external data network. AUSF or authentication server function supports subscriber and network authentication. UDM is unified data management. It manages and stores subscribers' data. Unified Data Repository or UDR is used to store data of UDM, PCF and NEF. It is a common repository which is used by these three network functions. So these three network functions can use the UDR and become stateless. So here computing is done by UDM, PCF and NEF, and storage part is taken care by UDR. PCF is policy control function which provide policies related to mobility and session management. NSSF is network slice selection function which is used for selection of a network slice. Application function support of specific service, example video streaming. So this is reference point based architecture of 5GC. It really looks complex and scary, although there is no need to mug up all the interfaces or the network elements, but it doesn't harm to have a clear understanding how these are interconnected. So I have tried to visualize all these network function interconnection, which I will share with you. First, let us have NSSF, AUSF and UDM, then AMF, SMF, PCF and AF, finally UE, RAN, UPF and DN. First connection, which is called N1, is between UE and AMF. N2 is between AMF and RAN. N3 is between RAN and UPF. UPF is connected to SMF via N4. Now PCF and AF are connected via N5. UPF and DN are connected via N6. SMF and PCF connected via N7. AMF and UDM connected via N8. N9 is used to connect two UPFs. UDM and SMF connected via N10. N11 interface connects AMF and SMF. AUSF and AMF are connected via N12. AUSF and UDM are connected via N13. Two AMFs are connected via N14 interface, and AMF and PCF is connected via N15. N22 interface connects NSSF to AMF. So this is how I have visualized reference point based architecture of 5GC. I hope you would like this video. If you do or don't, please share your feedback. In the subsequent videos, we'll be discussing about radio part, and I'll try to make the video as soon as possible. Thank you.